What's good, trappers? It's your boy, the Wall Street Trapper. And y'all know my goal, help the culture build a wealth one share at a time. Let's get it. So today I want to talk about passive income and active income. For too long, we've been taught to exchange our time for money. And what happens with that is when we exchange that time for money, we become prisoners of our job. Right? And listen to me, I'm not saying that nothing is wrong with having a job, because ultimately we know that everyone isn't fit mentally or emotionally to be an entrepreneur, and that's okay. That's okay. Whatever society and social media makes people believe about entrepreneurship, everyone isn't made for that. But what I will say is everyone, and I mean everyone, is made to build wealth. Or should I say have the capability to build wealth through passive income. So let's just tap down, let's dig into the science of passive income and active income. So we know that active income is the act of you trading your time for money. Active income simply means that you are actively earning that wage. And that can kind of be harsh because that puts people in situations where, let's just put this out there, everyone who works a job doesn't love their job. I would say about 70% of the people who work their job don't really love their job, right? They go because the job pays the bills, it pays the college tuition, it pays some of the debt down, it pays the car note, and even it puts food on the table, right? And that's cool because we ultimately have to do what's necessary to survive, and that's totally understandable for us. Right, so the thing about active income is it wears you down over time. Right, it happens when you get 65 years old and it's time to retire. Right, the average person doesn't live another 15, 20 years after they retire. Right, because they become so accustomed to working so many hours. Right, so now you feel like you're leaving something. Whereas with passive income is you letting your money work for you. Like even in your sleep, or even while you're working for your active income, you can have passive income working for you. And the great thing about passive income is it gives you a sense of freedom. It gives you a sense of knowing that you don't have to be a slave to this job. Listen to me. If you love your job, or if you work in your job, right? I have a system where I implement, where I educate on how to pay yourself first every week or bi-weekly, however you get paid. Right? I put that system together where you can take a percentage of your money every time you get a paycheck, right? Or every time you get that commission check, right? And you allocate that toward investing in the stock market, or you saving it toward, an investment that you're trying to make that can earn you passive income. And what that does is that gives you the freedom while you're on that job. Let's say you don't want to go to work today, right? You've built up a good nest of passive income where you might be like, you know what? I'm not going to work today. I don't feel like going today. When your boss start talking that crazy stuff to you, you got another 5-6 grand coming in of passive income. You're not trying to hear what your boss saying, right? You're not going to take that shit no more, right? You're going to tell him you can shove it. And that's the great thing about passive income. It allows you to be empowered. It allows you to get that freedom that you ultimately want in order to live a better life. Again, everyone isn't made to be an entrepreneur. But if you can put together 2-3 different forms of passive income, what you're doing is becoming an entrepreneur. Right? And that's the great thing about it. So it's not always about just saying, okay, let me take this leap of faith, right, and jump off. Nah, it's about sometimes just expanding your comfort zone. So let's say you're putting up $5 a day, right? And in a month's time, I think you'll put up $150. And if it's a 30-day month, and if it's a 31-day month, you'll put up $155, right? In a year, let's give or take, you put $1,500 up. With that $1,500, let's say you buy you some equipment, right? Some Spacewalks or something, right? So you rent your Spacewalks out. So your Spacewalks may bring in During the summertime and the springtime, they may bring in 5 grand. So you take that 5 grand and you can invest it back into your business. Mind you, you're still working your job, so you're not really tripping on what the side business is doing. So whatever the side business brings in is extra for you. So you don't necessarily have to depend on that money. But how human nature works is, as long as you see that business growing, you're going to want to put more into that business. So let's say that business grows to where you can bring in, but you know that's seasonal, right? You know that's seasonal. So now let's say some of the profits from that, so you still taking the $5 a month that you will save from here, right? And you waiting for your next investment. So now you don't start investing in the stock market. And let's say you're investing in a high dividend account that's paying maybe $2 or $1 dividend. Over time, you done bought your 5,000 shares, 1,000 shares, you know what I'm saying, or 100 shares, right? So now you have that money coming in, right? So that's cool. And let's say you build it up to 10,000. So now you have the seasonal money coming from the side business. You have the income money coming in because you may build you a nice portfolio in stocks. And let's say you can generate $2,000 worth of income, $3,000 worth of income in the stock market coming, right? So now you got your side business, you got the stock market income, and let's just say you're doing something else on the other side over here. But you're doing all that and you still have money coming in from your job. And because you have money coming in, you're not necessarily living above your means, because you're taking that money from the side gigs and you're putting that back into your business. You're putting that back into your stocks. Let's say you live in an area where it snows at, right? So now on the side, you've invested in some snow machines, right? Something that can blow the snow. And you may, put a business together and you put a couple people together who not working, you pay them. Now you have a side business. So now you have, in the summertime, you have the rentals where you're renting equipment, and in the wintertime, you got this side business which you're blowing, and you still got your stocks working. So now you have 3 things going for you, right? And you still got your job. Let that job, right, your active income, build your passive income streams, right? See, I think people just have this misconception, oh, I just want to be an entrepreneur, all this and that, and that's cool, that's understandable, because that means people are coming into the knowledge and understanding, like, the way of the world, right? The financial freedom is what we seeking. But listen, you don't have to leave the for sure. You can let your for sure, your active income, right, create different streams of passive income for you. So, there's a difference between passive income and active income. And I don't think you have to be a slave to the active income forever. But I think if you do have the active income, I think it's imperative that you learn how to create different forms of passive income through your active income. But what you'll ultimately have to do is make the sacrifices. You'll have to cut back on some bills. You'll have to not, again, I say this all the time, are you comfortable with 7 pair of Jordans, or are you comfortable with 1 pair? Or can you say, you know what, I don't need no damn Jordans, right? Can you cut back some of the designer things you do? Can you cut back on going out to eat all the time? Because you can take all this money and funnel it, right? You can funnel it into passive income investments, man. And remember, passive income is the way to financial freedom and financial independence. So the goal for me is to help the culture build wealth one share at a time, either by increasing, you can increase your income, but ultimately you'll have to take that increase and funnel it into investments and passive income that can ultimately work for you in the long run. Remember, my goal is to help the culture build wealth one share at a time. Follow me on Instagram, Wall_Street_Trapper. Subscribe to my YouTube. Check out my email list, man. I'm out. Yeah.